how does it feel flying? A lot like X-Plane, in that it's kind of like alive, you know what I mean? You've got all these surfaces doing calculations, but unlike X-Plane, its wind model is way better than X-Plane. So when you fly around, if you get like a bit of turbulence, or if you fly near a building there's turbulence, like you'll feel it, it'll move the plane. For the Eiffel Tower at night, there's a copyright to the company that did the lighting. Lol. It's a national monument. Who cares who lit it? So you can take the picture, pretend you can't sell it. That makes sense. Aviation Tail, how you doing, sir? How do you enforce these laws? Well, as Mr. Chu says, if you're just taking a photo for your family album, it's not really a problem. It's if you're going to like take a photo and sell it, that's where it starts to get, you know, you can be sued at that point. Did I try landing with no gear? Sommy and I were playing Dead Stick multiplayer. Is that going to be enough to do this? 145 miles. Is there a minimum for this? Sommy and I were playing Dead Stick multiplayer. And we took off, and I said, come on, let's fly over to that mountain. So we started heading off towards this mountain, like in formation. And then we saw a valley. So we went down this valley, and there's like a, you know, like a little riverbed at the bottom of this valley.
Navigation resumed.
Are we picking this up from here? There's like a little riverbed. So we flying along this riverbed, and then we sort of climbed up, got to like 1,000 feet. And then all of a sudden it said, landing rate minus 1,000 feet per minute. And we're literally like up in the middle of the air, and we're thinking, what? And then I saw this like black thing come at me. And so I'm flying along, this black thing shoot past. I was like, what the heck was that? It was like some weird scenery glitch. So I'm flying along, and I went, Sommy? And he was like, yeah. I said, you've got no left wheel? He said, what? I said, you've got no left wheel? So he's going, we're in the middle of the air, and he must have hit an invisible bit of scenery or something. So the wheel snapped off and flew at me. That was the thing that I'd seen. So he had no wheels, so we're like, lol. So later on we're flying in another valley, and I overtake him, and he says, you know what? What? He said, you've got no left wheel either. So somehow the game had snapped both of our left wheels off. Who knows how this happened? But when we tried to land later on, it didn't go very well. We ended up face down in a ditch and broke our plane. You won a t-shirt at the Dead Stick contest. Nice. I won one as well. Nice. Good job. Yeah, I've got mine. I need to iron it. It's a bit wrinkled. I didn't see any wildlife, no. So the other thing about Dead Stick, right, is if you tune your radio in, you've got a radio stack, if you tune the radio in and your friend tunes it into the same frequency, you can talk to each other, and it sounds like VHF radio, and it's modelled over distance as well. Where the heck are we going? Oh, it's behind us. I didn't see your time, Langerbelt. What did you do? So, yeah, I'm not really concentrating, am I? So yeah, it's got built-in push-to-talk radio, so you can tune into frequencies and talk to each other while doing multiplayer, which is just as well because there are no maps whatsoever, and there's no GPS, and the weather can turn like that, so you can easily lose each other and easily get lost. You're back and you have pizza. Nice. Did you win a t-shirt, Mr. Langerveld? No, Jimbo, I said earlier, the Dead Stick multiplayer is in the cloud, and it supports up to 32 players currently. But it's all done in the cloud, it's not running your machine or anything. About a second faster than me, 91.1. You carried on the ground till you beat me. Well, I did a 90 point something, so you must have got under 90.
Navigation resumed.
It was quite funny, it was at the start of the day, it was right at the start of the day, Langerveld, and he was like, I need a time, we've got no times on the board, I need you to put a time on. So I did it, there's me and Sommy barreling down this thing. So what happened was there was a competition to win a t-shirt, right? And what you had to do, your plane started off in like a lane with a starter flag and an end flag, and it was about what, 2 kilometers long maybe, and you had to take off, stay within your lane, and then land after the finish marker flags, stop the plane facing on current heading. It would then say, right, turn around. You turn the plane around, you barrel back again and land after the flags at the other end, stop the plane. When you stop, it takes your time, and the quickest would win a t-shirt. That was the whole thing. It was at 1 kilometer long, right? That was the competition. So I got there at the very start of the day, so I'm trying to set a time. So I take off, I get to the end of the thing, stop, turn around, fly back, and as I'm trying to like bring the plane down, I'm trying to time it so I can like glide just over the line, and I slightly mistimed it, and the wheels touched about 2 meters before the flags, and it went disqualified. And Chris was like, no, we almost had a time on the board. So I did it again. I got like 90 seconds or something, and I said to him, I said, there you go, it's a time. I said, there's no doubt that will be beaten, but it was a time. I left it on the board, and it was on there for like 2 hours, and every 2 hours he was going to like reset the times so that other people could win. And my time somehow in the first 2 hours didn't get beaten, which I don't quite understand.
GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed. GPS signal lost.
Can we go that way?
Navigation resumed. GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed.
Let's go that way. This is behaving a bit weird.
GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed.
Why didn't it just route me this way?
Keep
Or did I go
left.
one way?
Then
Oh.
turn left.
Okay, I'm going to concentrate in a minute.
Turn
So yeah,
left.
so other people later on, there was one guy, he said there was one guy who's been on it for like 2 hours. He was just again and again and again and again and again, and eventually got it down to like 72 seconds or something. That was the best time of the day. You managed to do 86. Yeah, I reckon 80 something was entirely possible, because I said to him, mine's not a fast time, mine's just a time. Because for one, I couldn't work out what the flaps button were, so I did 90 seconds without landing flaps. With flaps, you can slow yourself down a lot more, and I didn't have any flaps on. So that was fine, but he figured it all out. He figured out to do the flaps and did a really good time. Sample Gugu, thank you for 44 months. Monmat, thank you for the support. Welcome to the Nerd House, sir. This URL, 57, Ian, 44. Thank you, guys. So yeah, it was just a bit of fun, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm trying to get Deadstick to let me make a video. I keep pestering him. I was having a joke with him. I said, you know, this time last year at Cosford, I was asking you the same thing. When are you going to let me make a video on this game? It's like, and here we are 12 months later, and I still want to make a video. You took off without flaps, but landing helped. Yeah, I wouldn't take off with flaps, but I would land with them. Because the guy who got 72, he stayed low and used like ground effect to do it, whereas I sort of just took off and then glided down. Yeah, braking was difficult because these planes are tail draggers. If you brake too hard, you just end up face down and break the propellers. So you've got to like keep tapping the brakes. I'm playing ATS firefighting. But yeah, Deadstick, I'm looking forward to Deadstick coming out. I don't even care if it's early access, I just want to play it. So Honeycomb, right? Honeycomb Technologies, they've released their throttle, their yoke, sorry. You can buy the yoke, and they've just started shipping. But he was also showing the throttle that he's making, and the throttle that he's making is so cool. This guy is making a throttle to end throttles. Like, it's amazing what he's done. One Shot Crazy, thank you for 11 months. Almost a year. He's made this throttle, like, how can you put it? Most throttles have like 2 or 3 or maybe 6 levers or something, and generally don't have any buttons on it. His throttle is
Keep left.
is completely configurable. In fact, I can show you because I made a video. 1 second. I can actually show you this. So, pause that. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Can you see this? I haven't really got... Hang on. Let me just do something here. I'm going to try and add a camera. There we go. Right, there we go. Right, can you hear me? Yeah.
Welcome back.
You can hear me, can't you? Yeah, you can hear me. This is his actual throttle. So you've got like the levers. You see how he's got like airliner type levers on there, and you've got the release things for going into reverse. You've got a tensioner. You've got a tensioner down the bottom there. But look at this. It comes with a lever pack, right? So you can pull these little things off like that. And then you can put whatever lever you want. It could be a prop lever, it could be a flap lever, whatever you want. So you can basically reconfigure for GA flying or airliner flying. It's like the coolest throttle I've ever seen. Look at that. So you can make it for GA one day, make it for airliners the next, and then on these airliner ones you can spin it so you can have up to 4 of them and number them 1, 2, 3, 4. And look at all the buttons at the back. He's put loads of button switches. He's got a flap lever at the back. He's got dials. Like, he's even got landing gear on the left, see? And it goes red and green when the landing gear's up and down. It's like, it's such a cool thing. The downside is, he's not even made one yet. Like, that was literally a 3D printed version of the prototype. So that's not going to be out until 2020 sometime, but it does look amazing. It looks really clever, and I can't wait to get hold of one of those. It's got detents on it as well, but you have to pull the levers to detent it down. He can't put any indentations on the flaps, Jim Blythe. I asked him that question. I said, if you have like a flap lever, will it have indentations? And he went, no, because all of them are designed to be just movable rails. If we was to put detents on it, it would always have detents on it, which would be no good when using it as a throttle. It's going well, Blair, thank you. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So then, after he's done the throttle, so he'll then have a yoke and a throttle, and both of them, he's still aiming it to about the £200 price point. Both of them. So after that, they're then moving into making a GPS stack, like twin GPS screens that sit on top of the yoke and the throttle. So you'll have the yoke here, throttle there, and then you'll have GPS screens on top, and then on top of that, radio stacks. He's just making some cool stuff.
Keep right. Then, take the exit on the right.
And all of the GPS screens as well, he's going to aim those at £200.
Take the exit on the right.
There's another company called Fulcrum. They're making a yoke as well. So their yoke is a bit like Virtual Fly's yoke. So it's like made out of metal, but it uses Hall effect sensors, and it's really long. So you can basically get like a massive yoke when you pull it. It's like a realistic yoke. It's pretty cool what it's making. But I think that's going to retail at $429, so that's quite a pricey one. No, that throttle is going to be an absolute killer, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing, Matty. Like, because like his whole, if you listen to the guy, his name's Nicky. His whole philosophy is to try and bring in as many new pilots as possible. Like, there's a pilot crisis at the moment, a shortage of pilots, and he says we need to get people flying, we need to get the next generation flying. So he's trying to make affordable products for flight simming to get people flying. What on earth was going on there? Alpha Bravo, thank you for 2 months. So yeah, I think that's his motivation to keep the price down. Nutty Jim, thank you for 19. You're welcome. Oh, and another thing. The Fulcrum felt much more beefy than the Honeycomb. Yeah. The Fulcrum was like... Mr. Chew, I kind of see it as your Honeycomb will be your $200 kind of entry level, and then your Fulcrum would be like mid-range at $430, and then your Virtual Fly would be like the high-end, you know, FAA approved $600-700 mark. I kind of see it working out that way. But the Fulcrum's a really nice bit of kit as well. Oh yeah, the VR180 videos. So 2 of them have now been fully approved for release. I'm just waiting on 2 more now. So I'm hoping the other 2 will get approved this week, and then all 4 can go out this week. So yeah, fingers crossed Google approved the other 2.
Keep right. Then, take the exit on the right. Take the exit on the right.
They sold 5 Yokos over the weekend. Dude, I don't know how they do it. Unbelievable. Having said that, the new Yokos have got Hall effect. Mine's belt driven. Because the Yoko Plus, I think they are.
Keep left.
How's my day? Not bad, sir. I really enjoyed waking up at 3 AM to a fire alarm. And then a 2.5 hour drive home. But yeah, the Honeycomb stuff, you know, isn't just a flight sim. You could use it in games like Elite Dangerous and stuff as well. They're pretty versatile. So the Honeycomb guy said, like, the next thing that he's going to do after he's done the throttle, he's going to start making a force feedback version of the yoke. To which my answer was, hallelujah.
Keep right. Then,
Force, like, why is force feedback not a thing in flight sim? I don't get it. It's all over racing. The idea that you can actually feel when the plane is not trimmed.
Keep right.
I just don't understand why we don't have this, but he's going to do it. He's going to add it into the Honeycomb. But I reckon you're probably looking at 2021 for that. No, he's not too expensive. He reckons he can do it and still keep the price pretty low. That's what he says. Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be hard to support the software, Phillips. It won't be still 200, Heyman. It might be like 300 or, you know, maybe 4. I don't know. I don't know what his price point's going to be then. How about fly a plane to experience that? Well, that's the thing, though, Danny. That's what's missing. If you go from a sim to a real plane, that's the one thing that smacks you in the face. Is you don't know in a sim when you're out of trim properly. In a real plane, you can feel it. And why shouldn't we have it in a sim? just looked out the window and thought those clouds look like
Keep
Microsoft
right.
Flight Sim. Oh. What does out of trim mean?
Keep right. Then, turn right. Turn right.
Hang on, turning right on red out. Stop! Cheesy brakes. Can you stick your head out the window? At the moment in Microsoft Flight Sim, the camera's rudimentary.
Keep left. Then, turn left.
Uh-oh. Somehow, trying to press the track IR key, I managed to hit the space bar and put the parker brake on. Yeah, I think the camera is... They've got to add more camera
Turn
presets.
left.
And I'm kind of thinking maybe that's one of the areas where a third party will develop a camera system, you know, like X camera type thing.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Turn right.
Yeah, Chase Plane, I think maybe Chase Plane will probably convert
You have
the
arrived.
add-on to Microsoft Flight Sim, I would imagine.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Oh my god. They want it round there. They don't want it round here. Scumbags. I don't see what's wrong with just leaving it here. Oh, that's close. If that light isn't working, it has nothing to do with me. Why's the pink paint on the street lamp? Pink paint? Nothing to do with me, mate. And broke the light. No, I didn't. You can't prove a thing. Mr. Catweasel, thank you for 52. Andy King, how you doing, sir? Are you home now? Another great weekend under the belt, indeed. It was a good weekend. I think cost for this year, I don't know why, but cost for this year was good, I thought. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. So Andy suffered the 3 AM fire alarm as well. Andy, I'm just curious, what deodorant do you use? I reckon it was somebody who used Right Guard. Was it raining? I've not showed you this. Hang on. We came out of Weatherspoons last night.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Come on, why don't you play? 1 second. 1 second. This was the walk home after Weatherspoons last night, and that is Sommy in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. And you can see the rain. Yep. Just in case you missed any of that. He doesn't know I filmed him. He doesn't know I filmed him.
Welcome back, Nutter.
He's walking home and he's like a lad, yeah. Everybody else had a coat, not Sommy. About 40 minutes before... Got a shower and spoons, dude. About 40 minutes before we left Weatherspoons, in the world's most amazing timing, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I went to the toilet in the pub, and as I went to I came out, and all hell had broken loose. So this guy, who was in our group, had projectile vomited about 7 times everywhere, just literally all over Weatherspoons. Andy witnessed it. I didn't see it. Andy saw it. I just happened to go to the toilet, came back, and there was just a mess. And everybody just scattered. And apparently, it was like a grenade had gone off. Like, this guy just projectiled everywhere about 7 times. Properly. He filled 2 pitchers. Oh yeah, apparently, you know those massive pitchers? Apparently while he was like, brah, all over Weatherspoons, he got 2 massive pitchers and filled 2 of those, and then kept going. So I said, was it like a scene out of Team America, World Police, where he kind of opens his mouth and he's like, brah? Yeah, it was like that. He just kept going. I'm like, I'm not unhappy that I missed this. And then these poor women who work at Weatherspoons had to walk out, and they had this massive bag of... Yeah, it was all over the carpet. It was all over everything. They had this massive bag of, I don't know what. Was it like buy soda or something? I don't know what it was. They just started throwing it all over the vomit. It was just, oh my god. Yeah, it was literally right in front of the bar as well. It was right in front of the bar. I mean, they looked like they'd done it before, but there was 2 of them, and one of them was chucking this powder on, and the other one was looking at it going, ew. Battery H fortune favours the full bladder. So it seems. No, they didn't close the bar. They didn't close the bar at all. Also, business as usual. There was just a massive, massive white patch and two like pitchers full of vomit, basically, on the table. She went and put some gloves on and came back and moved the pitchers, and then some lads walked in from outside and walked straight through the white powder. To which one of the mates was like, dude, you just walked through. Oh my god. All in a day's work for Weatherspoons. I don't know what happened after that. Like, because I think they made him step outside, I think, and it was chucking it down with rain. I don't know what happened to him. Did he get home, Andy? I have no idea. Shaking back. I don't think it was putting the freshness back, if I'm honest. He was fine. Oh man, you see, he was like on the table. They've been drinking all kinds of stuff. Some of the cocktails that were arriving at that table, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it ended the way it did. But the best thing is, he was sharing a room with Andy. Who was he sharing a room with? This guy who just, emptied his contents of his stomach everywhere, was sharing a room with 2 other guys. So they had to take him back to the hotel and share a room with him. Did he share a room with the deodorant guy? You never know. The plot might actually thicken though, Whiteland. Maybe he had something to do with it. His picture the other guys were topping it up with drinks he downed a lot. Wow. Wow. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, the Strominator. Maybe he smelt of sick, went back to the room, And it was so bad that the other two sprayed deodorant all over him to mask the smell, and that set the fire alarm off. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe all that fire alarm was effectively caused by him drinking. That could be it. Problem mystery solved. There we go. Oh boy. So yeah, it was a fairly eventful night, to say the least. Where should we go? Oregon. You saw me at the event and it looked fine. Yeah, if he'd have left that alcohol in his stomach, he wouldn't have been fine, I don't think. Pink ribbon goods. Do you think PMGG and Aerosoft will import their products to Microsoft Flight Sim? It's a very, very interesting question, Mickard. So, we're going off-piste on the facts now because this becomes conjecture. Yeah, I don't know if this is what's going to happen or not, but I've heard that the add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator will be sold through their own store, where they can obviously take a cut of the money. And I don't think PMDG are going to be okay with that. So let's say, like Steam, if you sell a product on Steam, Valve will take 30%. So let's say you're making an add-on aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim. If you sell it through their store, chances are Microsoft is probably going to take 30%, say. And PMDG are not cool with that. So maybe PMDG will have to have a conversation with Microsoft, and the same applies to Aerosoft. Maybe they'll have to have a conversation with Microsoft and either negotiate a deal or add 30% on top of the price. But I think to not sell their products on Microsoft Flight Simulator would be a disaster for PMDG and the community. So somehow it has to happen. PMD just overhauled their e-commerce system. Exactly. They want you to buy their products from their own store. So hence why they're not going to be cool with selling it via the Microsoft store. So I don't know how they're going to solve it, but I'm sure they'll figure a way around it all. Was there any cake shenanigans? Vroom wasn't there, Bob. Oh yeah, why then? PMDG is staying very quiet.
Resumed.
They're staying very quiet right now. It's all just a massive Bing advert. Lol. Is that what you took away from the video? A Bing advert. He had a drunk hotel guest come into his room at 3 AM, burned microwave popcorn, passed out, set off fire alarm and caused so much smoke he was evacuated with the other guests, went into respiratory failure and had to spend 5 days in the hospital. Yikes.
Turn left.
Yikes, man.
In 50 meters, turn right.
Meters?
Turn right.
We don't have meters in America. C8, thank you for 3 years, sir. Niels, welcome back. We're gonna have to watch our behaviour. Maybe Langeveld. I mean, most of us are pretty well behaved. Meters for gas and electric.
Keep right. Then, turn right.
No, I don't think so. With the Nightmare, I'm not really sure.
Turn right.
Yeah, they have the DC-6 for an X-plane. But PMDG planes mostly sit on P3D. Well, to port that to Microsoft Flight Simulator apparently isn't a lot of work, according to Microsoft. So I'm fairly sure that all the major add-ons,
Keep right.
like all the companies, have been spoken to by Microsoft at this point. But I'm also very sure they're all under NDA and they're not allowed to say a thing. It was particularly apparent during the OrbX presentation. So OrbX presentation, they went through and they showed all of their stuff, like they've been working on, what's coming, and the new offices and all the rest of it. And you know, we got to the Q&A at the end, and sure enough, the first question, the hand went up. The first question that somebody asked was,
Keep right.
"I'm sure you've probably seen the new Microsoft Flight Simulator," and we're like, "Oh, here we go." And I expected the question to be something along the lines of, "I'm sure you've seen the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. How are you going to sell OrbX scenery into this?" But that wasn't the question. The question was, "I'm sure you've seen the new Microsoft Flight Simulator," to which the answer was yes. "Has Microsoft approached you at all about integrating your products into Microsoft Flight Sim?" Now, imagine being asked that question and you're under NDA with Microsoft, so you're not allowed to even
Keep
talk
right.
about the fact.
Then turn right.
You're not allowed to talk about the fact that you're talking to Microsoft. His answer was brilliant.
Turn right.
John Venom's answer was brilliant. He said, "Did you see that tweet from Asobo where they said, 'We've been talking
Keep
to
left.
OrbX'?"
Then turn left.
In other words, I can't tell you that I've been talking to
Turn left.
Microsoft. But Asobo have said that they're talking to us. So it's okay for Asobo to say they're talking to us, but I can't say that we're talking to them. So in other words, yes, they have, but he
You
very
have arrived.
cleverly said yes, Microsoft are talking to OrbX, but without breaking his NDA. It was a really clever answer. He did handle that question very well, but equally, I'm pretty certain he was well prepared for that question. Like, he knew that was going to happen.